Dis After Dark Podcast is sponsored by Unofficial.com, the home of Halloween Horror Nights news and rumors all year round. Find us on the web at www.hhnunofficial.com. So stop the fog machines and clear the cobwebs. It's time for another episode of the podcast that's nearly the same as all the others.
Wendy Presser at Magical Journeys Travel is proud to be a sponsor of the After Dark Podcast Network. Whether you've been to Disney 1 or 100 times, there's still lots of planning involved. Let Wendy be the one up at midnight when your window opens to get that Be Our Guest reservation or that coveted Anna and Elsa fast pass for your own princess. Mention that you heard this ad on one of our podcasts and get $25 off your deposit with any trip package. Be sure to ask about her generous onboard credits for Disney Cruise Lines as well. Find her on Twitter at WP Magic Journeys or WPMagicJourneys.com.
Welcome to Universal After Dark, a Universal podcast that's not the same as all the others.
You ready, girl?
I'm ready.
Are we going to do this?
Yeah, let's do it now.
Let's just do it.
Let's just do it. Hi and welcome to this week's Universal After Dark. I'm Amanda, your host as usual, and it's just me and one other person today. So I'm joined by Craig.
Alright, girl.
Just the two of us.
Eating Smarties in the sand, just the two of us.
That's it. It's just two of us today. We're lonely and everyone hates us.
Yeah.
Well,
Chris Ripley,
really,
where are you? He hasn't even
Chris
been
Ripley.
on this since he got back from Alani.
I know. You know what? Alula Lani's changed him.
Yeah. Jurassic Park footprints have changed him.
What a little hater.
I'm going to knock him out in there in September.
Do it.
Going to knock him right out.
We had planned to do this episode today for a reason, though, and that was because the Halloween Horror Nights countdown ended yesterday. So in my head, and probably in a lot of people's heads too, we were all like, this is going to be a really big announcement. The end of the countdown's going to come, and it's going to be something major. So I planned this episode for today. We don't usually record on Fridays, and nothing happened.
Oh, it was bizarre.
It was I'm going to rewind a little bit. So, it was over a month ago now that they put the new website up and they put the countdown timer on. They never actually specified that there was going to be an announcement at the end of the countdown, but that's kind of what everything was leaning towards. Why wouldn't it be? So, the countdown timer was the same everywhere in the world, from what I could gather. Someone in Orlando would post the countdown timer and it looked the same as mine. However, then a few days ago, we had Ash vs. Evil Dead announced. So on our last episode, you broke, Craig, that it was going to be announced and then there was an issue, so it wasn't going to be announced.
Yeah.
But then it got announced a few days after that. So that announcement came. The website went down for the Soul Collector part that we were talking about last week. And when it came back up, the countdown timer was saying that it was going to end at 11 a.m. UK time and also 11 a.m. Eastern time and 11 a.m. Central time. So it was 11 o'clock for everyone around the world, pretty much.
And was it?
Well, that made no sense because then I tweeted out yesterday morning that my countdown timer has like 2 hours left on it, but everyone else has had like 8 hours, 7 or 8 hours. So I'm like, is the UK going to get an announcement first? Because that makes no sense if that's going to happen.
Because we just leak everything.
Yeah. Yeah, we just screenshot it and show everyone, so that makes no sense, so this is surely a glitch. But anyway, I was curious about it, so I watched the countdown, get to 11 o'clock, get to 11 o'clock, and as it got to 0, a screen flashed up just saying, your soul's been collected. And I was like, that it?
Brilliant.
I like kind of knew that anyway. Thanks, Halloween Horror Nights.
I felt a little tickle.
Yeah.
And my soul was gone.
Exactly. But at the same time, I thought to myself, duh, obviously nothing's going to happen, Amanda, because it's going to be at 11 o'clock Florida time. So I carried on with my day. And I watched the countdown tick down until 4 o'clock our time, 11 o'clock Florida time. And the exact same thing happened. And I was like, is this real life?
So we're expecting everything at this point. That's what I was expecting.
Yeah, honestly, I'd recorded a video the day before, and it was my Ash vs. Evil Dead video, which I've actually decided I'm not releasing now. I'm going to just combine 2 videos together. But in that video, I'm like, I know, but I've got a story about that. I'll get into that in a little bit. But in that video, I'm like, I don't know whether this is going to be one really big announcement or whether it's going to be an entire reveal, or because there's 6 different boxes on the Soul Collectors part of the website, is there going to be a reveal every week for the next 6 weeks? Because that would lead us nicely up to the event. I just didn't know it was going to happen, but I knew it was going to be something really cool. And then nothing.
It's got to be that now. It's got to be.
Yeah. But when?
It's going to be, if it was Friday, it's going to be every Friday.
I just really honestly don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on. But then, as if to rub salt in the wounds of everybody in the UK, what they did bring out was a sweepstakes where you could win I think it was a 3 or a 4 night vacation for Halloween.
Don't tell me it's USA only.
USA only.
What's the point in that?
But
I entered that.
Not only USA only though, Craig. But if I was to win, if it was open to the UK and I was to win a 4-day holiday now in September or October and I hadn't already booked my vacation, how could I explain that to work? Hey, I know that I've got like a month's notice and everyone's already put their holidays in and their annual leave in, but yeah, I just need like a surprise 4 days off now. I would never be able to get that time off work this late.
Do you think this whole do you think we're getting played here basically and we're in a real life horror film at the moment?
I feel like I'm in a bit of the Truman Show. I keep feeling like I'm getting punked.
Yeah, I think this is the ultimate marketing ploy.
I can't decide. I can't decide whether they're doing something really, really clever or they don't know what they're doing.
I think they know exactly what they're doing.
I honestly cannot decide. And 1 minute I'm really angry, and then I'm like, oh no, this is good because look how fuming everybody is. It's creating loads of excitement and disappointment, but at least people are talking about it.
And suspense.
Yeah, but then how much suspense is too much suspense?
Well, you've seen It Follows.
Oh, well.
That was a lot of suspense, as our silly used to say.
That's a lot of suspense.
I just honestly, I feel so baffled. And at 4 o'clock yesterday, the whole Halloween Horror Nights community was up in arms on Twitter.
Okay, but so what we do know, right? So you're going to give these a thumbs up or a thumbs down. American Horror Story.
Thumbs up.
Shining.
Thumbs up.
Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Okay, right. I think this is going to be a dead good house. This is going to be a really good house. I've only seen about 3 or 4 episodes of season 1 so far. Not because I don't like it, just because there's so many TV shows going on right now. Like Game of Thrones has just started again. I started watching Riverdale, and I've just got a lot of TV shows on the go. But I do love the Evil Dead films, so I know that I'm going to enjoy this house anyway, and that's why I'm not really in a crazy rush to watch it. Because I know
I've seen none of them. I've seen all the films, but I've seen none of the series. I skipped over it a couple of years ago when it come out. I was like, meh, looked a bit shit. I'm not bothering. I don't know if it's the phenomenon. I don't think it deserves a house, maybe. Do you know what I mean? 2 series on, and it's like, I haven't heard that, like The Walking Dead, when that was announced initially, everybody was off their heads because the whole planet was Walking Dead mad. Is everyone Ash versus Evil Dead mad?
You know what? I was talking to one of my friends about this the other day, and they haven't been to Halloween Horror Nights yet, but they are going this year, and they're super into horror films. And I was like, I have heard a rumour about Ash versus Evil Dead. Like, we talked about it on the podcast last week, and blah, blah, blah. And what would you think if that came to it? Like, it's going to be your first time. Would that interest you? And they were like, haven't really seen a lot of the TV show, but I like the films enough that it wouldn't matter. And I was like, I feel the same. And I'm getting that impression from a lot of people that I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I mean, I know absolutely nothing about the TV show. The films are obviously very linear. They tell a story, the cabin, blah, blah, blah. But what's the TV series about? Is it a brand new mini film every episode, or is it one long story?
So far, it's looking like it's one long story, kind of. And it's referencing back to the film.
Right, okay, so...
It's good so far. It's funny.
Funny.
It's funny, and it's like, I'd say it's more funny than horror.
So this is the comedy house, then?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen quite a few people comparing it to what they hoped the Krampus house would be. Krampus was my favourite house last year, so if people are going to compare it to Krampus, I'm all for that, because I think that'll be a good house. But I'm into horror comedy anyway, and I think that Ash is such a recognisable character, and, you know, they've said that the cabin's going to be in there as well, and I just think this is going to make a good house no matter what.
I'm not going to be disappointed. I don't think, listening back to Halloween Horror Nights 25 that I recorded then, there was a couple of houses there that just didn't hit the mark for me and Stuart as we went through them. Nothing I've heard so far has disappointed me in any way, shape or form. Up to now, it's going to be a majestic year, definitely.
I agree. I mean, I was listening to I think it was the latest episode of ScareZone the other day, and Chris had said he'd had a question from a guy who was like, you know, it's like having a music festival and you don't know the lineup of it. I feel like us people from the UK, and if you're traveling over from another country, we don't really have that luxury anyway, because we tend to have to book our flights or our hotels and sometimes a year before. So a lot of the time we get back in October and we book it again in November or December. So we never know what's going to come.
Yeah, I was very much like that this year. Again, blank canvas. I've just booked it.
Yeah.
It could come back and bite me on the bum.
We'll always go no matter what. We'll always go.
Yeah.
It's just nice to have the hype that we usually have.
I think it's a weak excuse of Volcano Bay opening.
Yeah.
Because, yes, it's a massive undertaking to open a brand new theme park. I'm not trying to diminish the what they've done there. But I can't for 1 minute imagine the Halloween Horror Night people aren't the same Volcano Bay people. They must be different people.
That's it. Even if the teams cross over a little bit, I honestly feel like maybe they wanted to try something like how it was years ago, where, because we have been spoiled the last few years, where we've had a whole lead up to the event and we've had announcements in May and June. But before that, we would just have one night, maybe a month before, where everything would get announced, or we'd have an interactive website with just clues and then there'd be a big announcement. So maybe they were going for something like this again, but also wanted to release things like The Shining and American Horror Story and Ash vs. Evil Dead. I just don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what's going on.
Does it warrant? I mean, have we got an icon? Is it a brand new icon? Is the Soul Collector a person?
That's it. No, I wish that if they were going to do it this way, where we do get one big late announcement or a run of really late announcements, give us more backstory on the soul collecting thing. You don't have to release any houses. Just maybe make the website a bit more interactive. Just give us more of a story about it. Who is a soul collector? What's the story about it?
I do like it. I like, you see, the soul collector, that is, it's not really being done, has it? You know, it's not a vampire, it's not a werewolf, it's not a zombie. It's another avenue of horror to go down. It's almost like a dementor, isn't it?
Mm.
You know, so is that going to be a thing? Is this going to literally blow people's socks off this year? Is this going to be Harry Potter does, because he did it in the Far East, didn't he, last year?
Mm-hmm.
So dementors do take your souls. They take all that. Is it the soul or the happiness? What did he suck out of you?
Your soul, I think.
I'm having that. We've broken Halloween Horror Nights. Yeah. Oh my goodness, we've unlocked the code. 2 little Scouse divvies in a shed in Verzach have unlocked the code.
You're welcome, everyone.
Cheers. Drink whiskey, by the way.
But honestly, I think that the entire community is going crazy. We're grasping at straws because we've got nothing to. We've got no clues.
That's why this is the greatest marketing ploy that they've ever done. We are living a real life horror film at the moment. We are.
I honestly just wish that there was something at the end of that countdown. Anything.
There was. You got a wallpaper for your phone.
Well, I didn't like that wallpaper as much as the wallpaper I got in the beginning.
Did you enter the sweepstake?
No, because straight away, as soon as I posted it, like Halloween Horror Nights, I've already paid for my vacation. I don't want a free vacation. I want an announcement. Greg was like, we can't enter anyway because it's for Americans only. And I was like, oh, for God's sake.
Just go and enter it. Because you can get to upload your face as if you're getting grabbed in by that fella. Did you know that? You're not happy, are you? I've
seen everyone posting that, but I'm in a bad mood about it. You know why I'm in a bad mood? Because I was away yesterday, right? And I was so excited about this announcement that I thought was going to happen that I drove home, and to make sure that I was home for the time of the announcement so I could get home and make a video super quick and prepare myself for this episode so that I could tell everyone about it and what I thought about each of the announcements that I thought was going to come. And I arrived back to my house at 1 minute to 4. And I was like, yes, I've made it. And I was so excited, ran inside the house, watched the timer go down, and it was like, nothing.
Yeah, but pint glass half full. Come on, let's be happy about it.
Okay, you know what? I am sick of being negative about it because either way, I'm still going. I'm going to go every year. But I wish there was just something there. If it was anything, I would have been happy. Even just saying, hey, you know what? Academy of Villains are actually coming back this year. Or Bill and Ted is in fact going to be there again, which I already know is going to be there. It's there every year. But them just confirming something would have been better than nothing. But we are still going to be there. We are still going to have a dead good time. We've got dead good announcements so far. So we're lucky, really.
Yeah, we're spoiled.
We are.
These are Marks and Spencer's first world problems.
They are.
This is like me skinny Mackie latte latte. He hasn't got any vanilla fucking syrup in it. We'll get over it. So I tell you, when they announce It Follows next week, you'll be looking at me going, that man is a genius.
I won't be like, what is going to be inside this house?
It's just going to be like a naked Native American Indian on the top of a roof, and then a naked pensioner.
And then people trying to get rid of it.
Exactly.
Well,
Getting jiggy left, right, and centre.
Okay, so if you could have any house, what would you pick? Anything.
That's a real tough one for me because I historically I haven't watched a lot of horror films, and my ultimate would be Halloween because that was what I used to watch when I was about 10. And The Evil Dead. Now I've seen the new Evil Dead in 23, and I've missed Halloween and Halloween 2. So purely selfishly, I'd like to see one of them come back, but for the event, I don't like to see repeats. So I'd like to see something fucked up like Planet of the Apes.
But yeah.
Yeah. Or just something really real life. The Purge is as close to real life as you're going to get type of thing, because it's not demons, it's just an alternative reality. I like that type of stuff. So I don't think there's anything out there.
You know what? I feel like I'm one of the minority that really doesn't mind when things get repeated.
It gutted me to see American Werewolf in London again.
I can't believe that because that made me so happy. But
it was because
the film.
I adore the film, but I hadn't seen it for 20 years. And I watched it purely because I was going back, and I haven't watched it since, but I just, it was, wow, that is a piece of freaking art. That loved it. And to walk through the house the first time was absolutely amazing. And don't get me wrong, the second time wasn't bad, but I knew it sounds silly. It was like putting the film on again. Do you know what I mean?
I love American Werewolf in London, and I live kind of near Yorkshire now, and so there's a pub that I call Werewolf Pub that's in the middle of the Yorkshire Moors. There's nothing else around it, and I swear blind that the film location was based on this pub, and it wasn't, so they say, but I still think that it is, because honestly, it's in the middle of nowhere, it's always foggy, and it just looks identical to what's on the film. And I go there like every other week, even though it's like 40 minutes away. It's my favourite place to go. And I love the film, and I loved that it was there twice. I loved Halloween being there, I loved Halloween 2 being there, and I would not have a problem with Halloween 1 and 2 being there this year.
Both of them?
Both of them. Double house.
A super giant house. For me, I'd be made up. I'd be slightly disappointed for everyone else, but
like my friend that I was talking about earlier, who was going the first time this year, they're devastated that Halloween's not going to be there. And I was like, mate, it's very, very likely that it's not going to be there, and they're devastated about it. So it's people like that don't get to go every year. And that's why, sometimes it's not the best to have a repeat, but what if there was a house that you wanted to see so much and you just couldn't make it that year?
Yeah, I mean, I've literally missed both Halloween houses because they were... But then, a Nightmare on Elm Street house, I'm guessing it's been done in the past. It obviously has. But, yeah, I'd love to see one of them.
Did you not do Freddy vs. Jason?
Yeah, did it? But it wasn't a Nightmare on Elm Street house. So the Alien house, that was disappointing, wasn't it? I believe.
Ash loved it. I actually really liked it. I'm not big on Alien versus Predator. Like, I'm not like crazy into it. I can appreciate that as a good film. Like, I can appreciate that Alien's a good film, Predator's a good film. I appreciate that. It's just not 100% my cup of tea. And I walked through it knowing that it was a good house. But it just didn't blow me away. But at the same time, if that came back this year, I'd be delighted about that.
One of the scariest films as a kid for me, growing up, was The Fog, Stephen King. Now, you've got The Shine, and what if they had more Stephen King? What if it was the year of the King?
Exactly. What if it was? What if we had it?
So, what if that is what it's all about? That's why this hasn't all, it's all going to be this great big festival of Stephen King.
That would be so cool.
Imagine walking through that fog.
Oh my God.
Just these little hands coming out and all that.
It would be terrifying. But I'd love to see something like House of a Thousand Corpses. Did you watch that when I did my thing?
Yeah, I did, yeah. Remind me about it, though.
So it's the one where they go to the roadside attractions and then... and it's all
classic
weird and
film,
all
that.
Fucked up. It's crazy, and I think that would make a sick house.
Yeah. Absolutely. You're walking through them tunnels.
It would be mental.
Yeah, I loved it. But I also loved the one that had been remade, and I had to go and watch the original on YouTube to find it.
The Town That Dreaded Sundown.
Yeah, because he was horrible in.
My all-time number one favourite house. Like, that's what I've always wanted forever. Since I first went to Halloween Horror Nights, I was like, I would love the Town That Dreaded Sundown to be one, because it would be so cool. So cool.
Well, you can just see the origins of a lot of modern horror icons from that film, can't you?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Like, it's the original slasher.
Yeah.
Whether
it's just had a bag on his head.
Yeah. And it's so, like, there's such cool scenes in that film. Even in the remake or the, what did I call it? A meta sequel.
Yeah.
There's so many cool things they could do, and it's such a basic film as well. It's such a basic story, but would make a very good house, I think.
I adored Krampus. That was in your top films to watch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I'd be sorry, but they would never do it because they did it last year. But I would love to have gone through that Krampus house.
Krampus was, but you know what, right? You know that guy that I had to block on Twitter? The one that kept posting the trick-or-treat stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's everyone on talking about the flute player. He comments on everything, and I don't, nothing against him. I'm sure that he's a super, super nice guy, but I couldn't post anything without getting a tweet back straight away saying trick-or-treat's going to be a ScareZone, trick-or-treat's coming to Halloween Horror Nights, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, mate, I get it. All right. But it was all day, every day, so I had to just block him for a little bit. And I'll unblock him again soon. But I would love trick-or-treat to come. And you'd like that. If you think that you wanted to go in the Krampus house, I think that you'd like that.
I've raged against the machine because he's told me I want to see Trick-or-Treat. I don't want to see Trick-or-Treat. Never seen the film. All I want is him in his own house, just hundreds of them.
Oh my God.
Playing the flute. Just playing the flute and doing retweets and heart and tweets. That'd be my idea of a house. I've got a feeling Insidious.
I love Insidious.
I think Insidious will be back. And I haven't seen Insidious 3. And I believe it was a bit disappointing. Yeah, but 1 and 2 really shit me up.
All of them scare me, honestly. Like, all of them do. And the Insidious house that we had a couple of years ago was one of my favourite houses.
But you know what? It wouldn't bother me if The Walking Dead come back.
I said this the other day and got proper attacked for it. Properly attacked. I was like, you know what? I actually really like Walking Dead and I wouldn't be bothered if it came back. And straight away it got a private message like, what? Are you crazy? Why do you think that people want to see Walking Dead again? And I was like, I'm not saying that people want to see Walking Dead again. I'm saying I wouldn't be bothered because since that last house, we've had Negan.
Yeah.
Like, imagine him in a house.
Oh, imagine that iconic scene of the end of the second, 2 series ago, where he's about to bludgeon one of the heads in.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
imagine.
Previously, they haven't been able to use the characters. So what if they signed something that said that they can use them, and we got scenes like that?
You know, it's about to celebrate its 100th episode in October. It deserves to be there, whether it should be there or not. I would skip through that house.
I mean, I'm not saying that I really hope that it does come back because I don't, but I wouldn't be upset if it did come back. I'd be kind of happy, really.
For me, and I've only ever done 2 Halloween Horror Nights. 23, all the scare zones were Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And 25, obviously, I think it was the biggest house they'd ever done. I think they did bigger though last year, didn't they? With The Walking Dead. Halloween Horror Nights will not be the same without that music playing on loop. And I don't care what you say, that music hits the spot for me.
Yeah, that music fits so well at the event. So well. I don't think
you are in Halloween Horror Nights. You are. That music is playing. You don't know what to expect. You could get a zombie coming out of that fog. It's just go with it. What if they did Fear the Walking Dead then?
Okay, I haven't seen any of that, so I don't know what the story is with that. Is it just in a different place?
It's the origin story of The Walking Dead.
Oh, right, okay.
So these zombies are fresher.
Oh.
So they're just dead, literally. And they're faster. They're a lot less zombified. They're obviously just people that have gone a bit white and have got a bug eye, a bit like yourself.
Yep, that's grabbed me to a T.
So it's basically bug eye Boston trying to rip your throat out.
Awesome.
So what's wrong with that? Fast, horrible zombie bastards just trying to kill you. Just do it. Fear the Walking Dead.
Honestly, I really wouldn't be bothered. Really wouldn't be bothered if it came back or if it came back as Fear the Walking Dead. Honestly, really don't mind. Would prefer something new, but Walking Dead's good. It's a good show. People like it. And realistically, it draws in people who might not usually come to things like Halloween Horror Nights because they're fans of the show. Same with other big IPs. I prefer original houses, but the big IPs bring people in, and that's obviously what we want, so the event can keep getting bigger and bigger.
What if they had a Simpsons Halloween? What's that called?
Treehouse of Horror.
Treehouse of Horror.
I would love that. I don't know how it would work, but it would be majestic.
You see, there's always a drama every year, isn't there? Something always pulls out last minute. We just don't find out about it. We obviously do find out little bits and bobs, like the Purge replaced Scream. What if Scream can come in this year?
You know what, right? I finished watching Scream TV show a few months ago, and I actually really enjoyed it. I thought I was going to hate it, and the first 2 episodes, I was like, this is the absolute worst. But it's because I was expecting it to be like the films. But once I separated it, I actually really enjoyed it. And that's what the house was going to be based on, wasn't it? It was going to be based on the TV show and not the film. From what I remember.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
I wish that it would have happened now.
And then
I do like The Purge, though. I'm a really big fan of The Purge.
The Purge for me could happen tomorrow.
Yeah, that's why I like it so much, because I know that it could be real and it scares me.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy all the Purge films. So if the Purge was to come back again this year, I would not be bothered with that either. I'd enjoy that, actually.
And the Purge is basically nothing. It's just a few fellas with a few chainsaws, a few guns, and a few machetes.
That's it. And plus, if we get this rumoured Blumhouse mashup house, which we talked about in the last one, we could have things like Insidious and The Purge again, because it'd be in a mashup house. So it'd be cool things that we know work and that we know that we like, but with a different twist in it, because it'd be in a mashup.
See, when they say they break up them sets, they don't, do they? They keep the iconic scenes and use them again. They certainly do. What else do you want to talk about, Amanda?
Okay, well, let's talk about your exciting trip that you've got coming up. I want to hear everything that you want to do. Condensed.
Well, we're flying in next Thursday. So I'm well gel. And we're going straight to Walmart or Super Target.
Ooh, I like Super Target.
Super Target is a step above, isn't it?
Yeah, it's posh.
It's posh. The toilets in Super Target are just to die for. And then we're going to check in at the Hard Rock Hotel. And all our tickets come for the holiday this week. So somebody's got to go to Will Call to get the Universal tickets. So I was going to ask you, Boston White, can I just go and get everyone's tickets?
It depends what it says on the ticket and where you got your tickets from. Things like, I know, like I order real life tickets.
Yes.
So I don't get e-tickets, I get real ones. But when I get my Halloween Horror Nights frequent fear tickets, everyone has to take their ID to Will Call to get them, because it says your name on the back of it.
It's an e-ticket, but I'm fairly certain it says the person who made the booking or the card that made the booking. But I'll read it. I'm hoping that the kids can go in the pool and I'll just go to Will Call, and I'm going to get my ticket and try and upgrade it to an annual pass.
Yes.
Because I'm here 6 weeks later. Oh no, well, 6 weeks from now, I'll be going back, won't I?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I'll be missing Amanda by about 4 days.
I'm so gutted.
That would have been boss, that Scousers on tour.
Oh. So fun.
So, I mean, day one of our 4 days in Universal is going to be obviously the first day of the holiday. Wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, because that's what you do. Try and get a bit of breakfast inside us and get there for rope drop. And we'll just smash Universal probably. I don't have, we don't have any rhyme or reason. We're going to go to Harry Potter. We're going to come out to Harry Potter, start at the back of the park, express pass it to fuck, and probably back at the Hard Rock in the pool by about 2 o'clock.
I love the Hard Rock pool.
Maybe get a bucket of beer.
Yes.
Off the top of my head, you get about 7 bottles or 6 bottles in it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
For about $50 off the top of my head. Can't remember, but do a few of them in. And then the next day, it's just the other park. There's a few things that we haven't done. We've never seen the cinematic spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going, because we've got a baby in the party, the baby's going to go to bed and have a little nap. Our little Rose, she's just turned 1. And I'm sure she'll go and have a little lie down. So we'll be able to we can all rest because of the baby type thing, and we'll be able to go back into the parks to see that type of stuff, because we've literally never ever seen it. So I know it's a bit of a show, but I'll be excited to see it because I've never seen it.
You know what? It's really well put together, I think.
Yeah,
it is a good show. it's just they could make it a lot bigger, I think. But it's still good, still worth watching.
So the next day is obviously going to be Islands of Adventure, and again it's Potter first, and then just islands. There isn't an awful lot to do.
Well,
really.
I mean, you can ride Dueling Dragons really quick before they close it.
We're going to ride. I hate Dueling Dragons because I'm an old man now. But yes. I'm going to do it because I'll never get a chance to do it again. Mm-hmm. So I always ride one of them and say I'm going to ride the other one and then just go, no. But I'll make sure to ride both of them.
Yeah, I'm so jealous.
No, so... yeah, and I can't even say I'll Facebook Live from it because I can't. I'll Facebook Live from outside it and point at it. And then I think we did the Crazy Golf last time we went, and I think we did... I think it was the Alien one. So our Eve wants to do the Haunted House one.
Oh, the Haunted House one's the best one.
Exactly.
So much fun.
So we're going to probably go and do that. And then the next day, the third day, is penciled in as a pool day.
Oh.
So we're going to use the pool as a base, and people who want to go into the parks have got the freedom. So me and Eve might go off and go and do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Or the Lucas family might go off, or the Taylor family might, because we're going in two families. So there might be little factions all going off, just doing whatever. And then that's the Sunday, and that's where we've got our character breakfast booked.
Oh, how exciting.
Exactly. And that is in the Islands dining room in the Royal Pacific. So it's not the one in the park, it's in the one in the Royal Pacific.
Oh.
So, a full review of that. I'm going to try and video it.
I'm excited about that.
Well, if you talk to the orange-headed buffoon, he will always tell you that a Universal character breakfast is a lot more intimate than a Disney one, which is a bit more like a conveyor belt.
Mm.
The Universal ones tend to be a lot more relaxed, so I'm actually quite looking forward to that. The videos I've watched of it, one of the videos was a Japanese family, and they were the only ones in there, and they had the characters to themselves. All their kids were dressed like minions, and they all had fart guns.
That's so funny.
And all the characters were there interacting with them. So Groot comes out and he's stealing the fart guns off them. And they literally had all the characters to themselves.
Wow.
So really looking forward to that. So, and then the last day is checkout. And later on in the holiday, towards the end of the holiday, we've got Volcano Bay booked.
Yeah,
we've got a cabana.
So fancy.
I know, it's just so swish. However, I've spoke to Lee, who spoke to Matt Corn, who spoke to several people, and basically they house 6 people and no more. And when we made the booking and they took our payment, I explained the situation. That was 8 of us, and one of them was a baby, and one of them was a 7-year-old, and a woman, because it was so new, and it was, it was so not even open yet. They were still painting it. She was like, "Oh yeah, well, we'll just take the booking and we'll just see what happens." Since that's happened, apparently they're not letting you have 8 people in a 6-seater cabana, so we're going to have issues with that. I think we're going.
How's this going to work? Because are they just going to make the baby and 7-year-old sit outside?
Well, that's what I'd do, to be fair, to prove a point. because they're not going to. The baby obviously doesn't exist in respect of it's got no. Rose has got no park tickets, no reservations. She doesn't. She's not on any of the dining reservations. Do you know what I mean? So it's only literally the 7-year-old. And if they used a bit of common sense, like Disney does, Disney charge you $25, I think it is, or $50 per extra seat. And they'll put extra seating into the cabana.
I honestly feel like once you get there, Universal are going to look after you.
I think so.
I understand that you're not trying to fit 8 adults into a 6 adult cabana.
Definitely.
I feel like it won't be an issue. I think they'll do the right thing.
I'd like to see common sense. Disney will give you the extra towels for the extra 2 people because you are paying. You do pay. Then at Disney they give you free refillable mugs because you're in a cabana. So you can go to all the drink stations and get free soft drinks all day. You get free water and stuff like that. So if Universal aren't doing that, I think maybe it's something they need to look at. Just to get a little tiny little bit more money out of it. I'd like to think, listening to Jim Hill and Len Tester on the Touring Plans podcast, accommodation and bookings at Disney are down.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember, I think it was Colorado Springs has actually come up on some budget website.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's like $70 a night or something crazy like that.
Wow.
So, and this is like $120 a night with discounts type hotel, apparently. I might be getting that all wrong. I'm half pissed. I've had a load of whiskey, but so I'd be interested to see if Universal's bookings are down, because from what I'm hearing, Volcano Bay's at capacity every day.
That's it. And then you've got the new towers at Cabana Bay. I can't see Universal being down hotel-wise. And then you've got all the Halloween Horror Nights bookings coming in. No, I honestly can't see Universal bookings being down at all.
Now, Universal in the last 2 weeks of August tends to empty out because a lot of Americans go back to school. However, this holiday, we front-loaded our holiday with Universal to start with. And we're doing Volcano Bay in the last week of the holiday just to give us a break from Disney.
Yeah.
So on the day we check out, we are potentially, because you get early park access to Volcano Bay, don't you?
Uh-huh.
So we're potentially going to go to Volcano Bay for a couple of hours and smash some of the rides in, get a feel for the place for when we do go back to the cabana.
That'll be good. That's a good idea.
Ride-wise, I mean, I can't wait to do Kong.
Yes.
I absolutely, after watching that film, and I know it's not based on the film, but that film is a phenomenal King Kong film.
Is it?
Oh, haven't you seen it, Amanda?
No, for once I haven't seen a film.
Friggin' hell, girl. The opening sequence just literally sets it up. It's perfect.
Is it out on DVD?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's absolutely phenomenal. It's got the soundtrack. It's 70s. It's very much Vietnam.
All right.
And I think from what I remember, the soldiers in it, without giving anything away, are going home from Vietnam, and they get called out to go and do this secret mission before they go home. That's as much as I'll say. And it's a real shame that the ride isn't based on the film, but it's also good because it makes the ride timeless, whereas the film will date.
That is true.
The ride will never date. I hope they sort out some of the problems that you've highlighted. Yeah. And I'd be very interested. Where would you sit?
I'd say from the middle anywhere in the middle, back.
Can you take a 1-year-old on it?
I don't think so.
Okay. So is there a bit of throwing you around then?
It's a little bit jiggly.
Okay. That's why then, isn't it?
I think that I'm sure that there is a minimum height requirement, but it's very short because there's no restraints or anything. But I don't think that you can have like a baby on your knee.
Okay.
I haven't seen it anyway.
I'll have a look. We'll have a look.
Yeah.
And the other thing, everybody's talking about the tight pants. I can't wait.
I can't wait to hear what you think about it.
Because I watched Tim Tracker go in there again the other day in the rain, and he just, all the crowds, all the uproar and everything has died down about it now. And it just seems like a mellow place to go and walk around and look a bit at the history of the Tonight Show and all that type of stuff. Look at all the displays, and then leisurely, your colour gets called out, and in you go. I just can't wait to just get in there, that air conditioning, and just. He's just. Oh, I'm falling in love with Jimmy Fallon.
I love Jimmy Fallon so much. Honestly, he makes me laugh.
James Corden would still batter him.
He definitely wasn't. We've been
being funny.
But I think you'll really like this, I can't wait to go back to go on it again. It's the same ride every time, isn't it? Yeah.
And the 3D is pretty crisp from what I've been told.
Yeah.
Yourself and others. You see, that for me makes it it's going to be 3D, it's got to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they're the two big ones because I haven't seen either of them. I can't wait to see just the building of the Fast and the Furious. I know I won't be able to ride it until next year, and we're not going next year, so it'll be 2019 when I do ride it. But that building looks vast.
Yeah, it looks gigantic. Like, Luke went and did us a video, and looks really cool and gigantic.
I've got to say, the videos that Luke has been putting out, he is absolutely smashing it.
Luke's such an angel. I love Luke so much.
He's learning his trade while he's vlogging for us, and you can see his progression with every vlog. They're getting better and better.
Yeah.
They're brilliant. I can't believe we've got somebody local who can just go and do what he does.
And Luke's coming on next week's episodes. I'm dead excited about that.
Yeah. We've got him booked in. I won't be there.
No, you'll just be in Orlando, so whatever. Or on your way.
What day are you recording with?
We're recording on Wednesday, so you'll be having a nice early night before you fly out.
Oh my God, right. You know what time the flights are?
Yeah.
We're on the early flight.
Mm-hmm.
We're literally getting picked up at 4:30 in the morning.
You know what? I get the same time flight that you do. And everyone's always like, oh my God, why do you go? You have to go that early, don't you? You don't have a choice.
That's
by the time you've gone from Liverpool to the airport, and then you've got to go check in, go through security. You have to get there that early.
Well, this is our first time flying premium economy with Virgin.
Oh.
Yes, I'm expecting like 300 movies to pick from.
What if it's like one extra?
I'll be slightly disappointed. There was 1 year, right, we flew with Thomas Cook, and we were premium economy, and our Grace was 18 months old, and she had one of them cups, like not a sippy cup, but like it was a straw. But you've seen them. You've probably got one where you fold the straw away in the lid, and then you pop it out, and the straw goes fa-doing and pops up like a little jobby, right? Fa-doing like that. So we've took off and we're flying through the air with the greatest of ease, like that. And our Grace wants a drink. So I reaches down. Now, we'd filled it because we'd gone into the first class lounge and all that, whatever. Because with our bank account, you get to go in the lounges. It's not a first class lounge. It's a freaking hellhole, but whatever. We'd filled it with pure orange juice, right? Because she liked pure orange juice at the time. So we literally, she goes like that, ba-ding, with her straw. The straw goes, ba-ding, sticks up. And then, because we were in a pressurized cabin, it ejaculated fucking pure orange juice all over the ceiling of the aeroplane, directly in front of the 3 people sitting in front of us, not over us, in front of the 3 people sitting all over us. And then it rained pure orange juice on all over them. And the woman had just had her hair done. She turned round and that's what she said. Oh my God, I've just had my hair done, like that. And then, because our Grace wasn't 2, she didn't have a seat, so she had to sit on Kerry's knee, right? And as we were mortified, we cleaned it all up, we apologised and all that profusely, blah, blah, blah. And then as we settled down and we'd said our sorries and everyone was all happy, the woman in front put her seat back and the seat come back onto Kerry and the baby, right? And there was literally half an inch gap. And Kerry went, could you put your seat forward, please? I've got a baby on my knee. And do you know what the woman said?
What?
No. Like that.
What?
And we bumped into them all holiday.
No way.
It was horrific. Jaws was still there, and we were in the Jaws queue with them. Literally, they were the people in front of us on the Jaws queue, and she was a little bitch and fucking ignored us all the way through the queue. The husband was one of them little sheepish little fellas who kept letting on to us and going, hello, you're the gobshite who got pure orange juice all over me. And ruined my wife's hair. It was boss.
You know what? I never put my seat back on a plane. Well, actually, I'm lying. I do. But only when those people that fly Virgin will know what I'm talking about here. I book my seats upstairs.
In
the
bubble.
In the bubble. And I book the back row.
Oh.
So that I can recline my seat and there's nobody behind me. Because I hate it when someone reclines their seat onto me. Because I can't sleep very well on the plane. So how I sleep is I lie the table down and then I put a little pillow thing on top of the table and then I kind of lean half on the table and half on my armrest. I'm only tiny so I can kind of like contort myself in a little ball in my seat.
Like a hamster or a gerbil?
Like a little gerbil. So if someone reclines their seat back, it goes onto the table and squishes me between the table and the chair. So I hate when someone reclines their seat, so I never do it unless I'm sat in that back row, and then I'll recline my seat back.
Well, in 2000, this is like flights after dark. In 2009, we were premium economy, and we're sitting there on Thomas Cook again, because we've never flown Virgin until this year, premium economy. So Thomas Cook, premium economy, and we get to talking to a Manc family to our right? Lovely family. Can't remember the names, but they're just them people who you talk to on a flight. So I'm sitting we're all sitting in the middle, and I'm on the far right, and they're on the right, and we literally gabbed. The kids, Eve was talking to their kids, swapping games and all that. We had a really nice flight with them, yeah?
Mm.
We were sitting all in the same seats flying home, right? Are you still with me on this?
Absolutely.
Yeah. 2010, we get on our Thomas Cook flight, premium economy, and who's sitting in the seats next to us?
No.
That same fucking family.
What the hell? How?
I don't know.
That's so weird.
It's It's almost as weird as me getting on a flight this year with that Florida guy.
That'll never happen.
He is on my flight, or I'm on his flight. There's going to be beard hair floating around the cabin all the way to Orlando.
Hello.
Why, aye, man? I see Arse buggy. They've got no ginsters pies on here, man. That's what it'll be like.
Wow, you'll have such a fun flight.
Oh, I can't wait. There's just, because it's premium economy on Virgin, there's only 2 seats, isn't there?
Yeah.
2s and 2s and 2s. So it's me and our Eve all the way.
Oh.
Yeah, so just us two, and then we're just going to put our headphones on and ignore everyone behind us.
That's what I do too. Or I buy little colouring books and I just colour and watch films.
Our Grace is colouring in.
Yeah. You know what? Like, when I say that to people, they're like, what? You colour? You're like 20-something. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But surprisingly, it makes time go really, really quick.
I find getting pissed on the plane makes the time go really, really quick.
Bit of both.
It's a bit of a problem when you've got to drive at the other end, like, but...
Yeah, no, that's not a good time.
No. Me and Stuart in Halloween Horror Nights 25, I got wasted. American Airlines, who knew they give away free drinks in standard class?
Virgin do.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, I've flown with Virgin, I can't even remember that.
Yeah, because you were too drunk, probably.
Probably. But we drank in the lounge, the first class lounge. We had about 7 bottles of beer before we got on the flight. And then for whatever reason, I decided red wine was the way to go.
No.
Oh, yes.
No.
Yes. So I fell asleep on Stuart then, cradling him in my arms. And we woke up just before we landed in Chicago. And I had my head split open. Trying to do a transfer in Chicago with my head split open, hangover, trying to find drugs.
I can't think of anything worse than all of that situation.
Oh, I can.
Oh, hello, Nicholas.
Oh, who's this? You Skype who this?
I just thought I'd show up, to be honest. Just for no
Have you got your
reason.
underpants on your head?
No, not on a Friday night record. No. Why would I? Why'd be wearing my underpants on my head?
Because I was going to say you're in trouble if you're there, because it's Naked Friday.
Oh, would I be in trouble if I was wearing them on my head? Surely that's what I'm supposed to do.
No, they're still on you then, aren't they?
Yeah, I suppose.
Fair enough. We've put the word to rights, Nicholas. I'm full of whiskey.
Yeah, I had a rant about Halloween Horror Nights, but now I feel really, really bad, so now I feel like I need to say sorry to Halloween Horror Nights.
Well, like, unless I've missed something the last day, have they still not announced anything?
No, the countdown hit 0 and then we didn't get an announcement. But to be fair to them, they never said that there was going to be an announcement. We all just assumed that there was going to be. So now I feel really, really bad for like how mean I was.
But, and I mean, obviously, I don't want to tread on ground that I've not listened to yet, because I'll listen to the rest of the podcast at a later date. But, I mean, it's unprecedented, isn't it? We're a month away, less than a month away from Halloween Horror Nights open. No, sorry, just over a month away before Halloween Horror Nights. And we still haven't got a finalised lineup.
Mm-mm.
That's unprecedented, surely.
I mean, we spoke about it before, but in the past we did used to just get kind of one big announcement around about a month before or a couple of weeks before.
Yeah.
So we have been spoiled over the last few years, but we're used to that now. Can they just take that away?
Well, I'm watching The Handmaid's Tale at the moment, and they've seemed to have taken a lot of women's rights away overnight. So maybe. Maybe.
I think, Nick, we're getting played, and I think we are part of our own horror film at the moment. We're creating our own suspense in real life.
What, you mean you and Amanda? Because obviously I have no interest in Halloween Horror Nights not going out there.
Why would you even give a flying fig about Halloween Horror Nights.
That's what I mean. I mean, you know, if I was going to see it myself, then I would be. But as I'm not, then you're right. I don't really care too much. But I do care about my friends.
Oh, he's so kind.
You love us.
Oh, no. Sorry, what I meant was my friends aren't going either. But I know you two are.
Oh, such a hater. He hates us just like Chris Ripley hates us.
Of course, I'm joking. I consider everybody who does a podcast that I'm involved with as a friend, because otherwise I don't think I could do it. That includes you, Orange Ed.
Orange Ed to Tangerine Face. I think Chris Ripley has signed an exclusivity deal with Logan Seculo on ScareZone.
As to why he's not on this podcast.
Yes. So Chris Ripley, me and Amanda are going to come down to your posh end, to your castle that you live in because you're a James Bond spy, and we're just going to sit outside and look through your windows menacingly.
You should just ask me to do it. I'm only about 30 miles away.
Well, you can come as well, the three of us.
Yeah.
He'll be washing the dishes, and he'll just see three people. Like in It Follows, basically. We'll all be naked, just staring at him.
That's the only horror film that Craig's seen, clearly. It Follows.
I will say, though, Amanda, because I haven't seen it either, but despite Craig's recommendation, I mean, let's be honest, he also likes Batman vs. Superman. But I've seen a couple of links to various like movie-based or celebrity-based websites where they reckon that It Follows is an underrated gem which has hit Netflix and no one knows about it and everyone should watch it on Netflix. So
I've seen a few people say that it's such a good film, and then I was like, have we watched the same film?
But it could happen in real life, Amanda.
No, we couldn't.
I could come and stand outside your house any time. I don't have to kill you. I just stand there.
Yeah, but how am I going to get this magical curse that couldn't exist?
I'll just go like and do the curse on you.
What the hell?
Anyway, what I have got to say is this. My wife has listened for the first time in quite a while, has listened to some recent episodes of Dis After Dark. Which is I know, because the thing is, like, although I don't slag her off, thankfully, but also because I know she doesn't listen, it means that I can kind of get away with saying whatever I want. But now I know that she might listen, and she has listened, so now I've got to be careful. But what she did say is this, and this applies to this podcast and any podcast I'm involved in. Basically, I talk too much, and no one else talks enough, and I'm not sure if she's encouraging other people to talk over me, or is just putting a plea out there to the two of you, to P-Dubs, to Dolan, to Ripples when he's available to do our podcast, to talk more and make me talk less. So I'm saying that publicly.
What if we just sellotape your mouth?
Or we just shoot you?
You can do that. Or you can do what you did tonight. Just ask me to record a podcast and I'll shut up for an hour. Seems to work all right with this one.
Weird. You're just sitting there in silence, just listening to us all.
I did point out that occasionally on the podcast, and this is very true, I will stop talking and nothing will happen. There will just be silence until I say something else. Or I make a joke about the fact that no one is talking. So therefore, this is a plea from her to everybody else. Talk more so Nick can talk less. Because she is enough of my voice as it is.
That could be a hashtag.
Less. What?
Talk less so Nick can talk more. Shit, no, that's wrong. Stop Nick talking.
That's a bloody long hashtag as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Talk more so Nick can talk less.
What do you think, Amanda, of Everybody's Got One, the rebranding of Pop After Dark?
I love it.
So you know the significance. Everybody's got one, an opinion, an ego. Everybody's got one, an ego, and an arsehole.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we got Leon.
Look, you also like Batman vs Superman, so.
Oh, fucking hell, mate.
It's in
the top 3 films ever.
It really shouldn't be. And absolutely publicly, I will say this because I don't really think I want to darken the first episode of Ego with this. After recording the last Ego podcast, also the last Pop After Dark, I did watch Batman vs Superman. I watched it over 2 nights. I didn't watch it all in one sitting. I upset Lee because I hated it more than I had originally. But I didn't do it to wind him up. The film absolutely annoyed the shit out of me. And I thought it was almost entirely terrible other than about 10 minutes worth of footage. I think it's a terrible, terrible film. And that's it. And the good thing is that just like Egos and just like Arseholes, we've all got a different one.
I don't know, you know. I've seen your arsehole, Nick, and it's pretty similar to mine.
Well, It's the same size-ish at the moment. That can change. Anyway, I've interrupted this show, so I'm now going to shut up and let you carry on.
I feel like on that note, I was going to say goodbye.
Imagine if that little weird fella on Twitter could play his flute with his arsehole. Now that I would pay to see.
Who?
All right. Bye, everyone. We'll see you on the next episode, where we're going to have Luke joining us for an interview all about his history with Universal, Halloween Horror Nights, and his thoughts on Volcano Bay. And we'll have another Dis After Dark next week, too. Bye.
Ta-da.
I'm Mary Poppins, Joel.
We hope you've enjoyed this podcast. If you would like to support Dis After Dark and the other After Dark Network podcasts, please visit our website at www.patreon.com/Dis After Dark. That's patreon.com/Dis After Dark. Thank you. This podcast is part of the After Dark Podcast Network.